Hickok 45 here, your internet single shot shooter, coming here from the beautiful hills, the barren hills still, of Tennessee. Yes, glad to have you here. It is the home of Alvin York and Dolly Parton. Yes, haven't given them credit for a while. And I have my Shiloh Sharps out. You know, we posted that turkey hunt here recently. Was it this week? Last week? And last week. And, you know, I hadn't shot for a while because it had been a while since we'd done that. And boy, when I see that in the safe, I'm rummaging around, I think, oh boy, need to shoot that thing badly. Oh boy, single shots are gorgeous. Well, they're fun. They're not all gorgeous, but they're fun. And this is such a classic Shiloh Sharps. This is the Montana Roughrider by Shiloh Sharps. It's a variation on the 1874 Sharps rifle. Yep, buffalo gun, 45-70 if you need to ask. If you're new, you might not know, this is one of my 45-70s. I have to confess, I have several 45-70 caliber rifles. No handguns. Have shot one, but don't have it. Yeah, glad to see you all out here. And we're creeping on up. Look where we are. We're at almost the end of April. Next time I see you here on the Gong Club range, Sunday shoot around, it will be April. Can you believe that? It will be April. Still looks like winter around here and has felt like winter this week. And I was, you know, anxious to shoot this and shoot some other things and visit with you. Notice it's going to be raining next couple of days, so this looks like the day to do. Come and see you and to shoot. So glad you're here. Glad you're here. Really glad you're here. It just makes it more complete. You know, if I'm out here by myself talking to trees, it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird, and I am a little weird. Oh yeah. Oh, you notice if we get a little wind, I sort of worked on my, well, I did. I worked on my target stand over here and have enhanced it a little bit. I found some, y'all familiar with the platform target stands? Many of you maybe have them, using them, where you put a, I've got some lying around, or some 1x2 boards in them, or even smaller. You know, they're pretty thin. You know, stick a couple down in them and then staple your target to them. They're pretty handy. You can throw them in your trunk, take them to the range, and stick some sticks in it and staple a target to it or whatever, or on your own place. I noticed on Amazon, I was looking around at them, I needed another one, and I noticed they had some that take 2x4s. Yeah, you know, just a platform, and they're set up to put a 2x4 down in, which for some of you, my relatives in Kentucky, that's a bigger board, a bigger target stand, heavier duty, and that's what I built, or I put together over here. And I even got it so that, well, if the wind starts blowing, what did I do with those sticks? Oh, I think I threw them in the back of the four-wheeler, actually. But, oh no, I didn't. Yeah, duh, they're right here. There we go. I can. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I meant to, so, well, you can't really see what I'm doing, but it not only has the slots for 2x4s, but in front or back, however you set it, it's got the slots for the 1x2s as well. And so I thought, oh, that's cool. I can stick one in front there to hold the target. So anyway, trying to upgrade a little bit after putting it off for a while, you know. And we moved this around, as you noticed, so I didn't want anything, you know, just, I could plant it in the ground, like I had one over near the range planted, you know. Used to post old diggers, set some posts and all that kind of thing. But this gives some stability, and I can still move it around a little bit. You know, we're doing other videos over here, may move it out there and that sort of thing. Anyway, I knew you were dying to know about that. But, I mean, you might find it useful information. If you've used those, those types of target stands, they work great, and you don't want anything too heavy, of course. That's a benefit. They're portable and all that. You can stick your sticks, throw them in the truck, or even the trunk, I guess, big enough, back of your SUV, and, you know, go somewhere and set them up. But they are rather flimsy, blow around or that kind of thing. But so I kind of like the idea of a 2x4, one that takes a 2x4. I even put a cross piece on the top, so it's almost like it's basically set in the ground there. So anyway, in case you're interested in that, I forget who makes them. It was some kind of unusual name. You can look them up on Amazon. Target stands, metal target stands, or whatever. Something Hound. Yeah, I didn't even know what the name was, so it came in a box, and it was something Hound. Target Hound? I don't know. But anyway. So, here I am. Yeah, with my Sharps. I've got another interesting rifle, or pistol. Can I shoot this again? Will you get mad at me if I shoot it? All right. 405 grains of lead going into a bowling pin. Yeah, oh, 2 of them. All right, 45-70, hard to beat. Those are kind of cowboy loads. Fun to shoot. This thing is so heavy, it would be tough to have a load in it that would kick really, really hard, no doubt about that. So, before we go too far, and then of course Talon grips and Ballistol. Supporters of the channel, and speaking of that, we'll be at the NRA meeting in Indianapolis. Hopefully you'll be there at the biggest gun show in the country, and that's coming up next month. What is it? The middle of April, I don't know, I forget the dates of it, but it's the middle of April in Indianapolis. And in fact I got the times, man. Told you, be there. We will be doing a meet and greet at the Silencer Central booth from 10 to 11 Saturday morning. Okay, NRA meetings always on the weekend, starts on Friday, usually Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So on Saturday, busiest day, we will be there from 10 to 11 at the Silencer Central booth, and their booth is 7963. Okay. And then that afternoon we'll be at the SDI, speaking of the Sonoran Desert Institute, we'll be at SDI's booth from 2 to 3, okay, in the afternoon. And they're at booth 4645. So you can rewind the tape, and get all that information again. But we'll be there at Silencer Central from 10 to 11, and then SDI from 2 to 3 that afternoon. So that's all on Saturday. So hope you're there, hope to see you, okay? So come by there. Yeah, and then also John's, as I mentioned the other day, he's going to be at in Chicago at a couple of different locations, a couple of different Zanies comedy clubs. The Zanies Rosemont on March 22nd at 7:30, and let's see. Wait a minute now. Was that? No, he's already done that one. Okay, forget I said that. Yeah, he's already done that one. The April one is not obsolete. He'll be on April the 1st at Zanies Chicago, okay? Zanies Chicago on April the 1st at 11 o'clock, 11 p.m., okay? All right, I got something else to shoot. You're not going to believe what I have out here. Well, I'll give you a clue. I've got, it shoots 45 ACP. Yeah. 45 automatic pistol cartridge, right? ACP, automatic Colt. So you're thinking, well, it could be almost any modern gun. They're all chambered in 45 ACP. It seems like a lot of them. And then, of course, model 1911. But no, you would be wrong, because look what I have. I've got the Davy Colt, my Davy Colt, Colt single action. Yeah, look at that. Shooting 45 ACP with it. How weird is that? And that was 5. Yes, I thought, you know what, I would like to shoot that, shoot some 45 AC, or shoot a Colt single action. And let's do something unusual. I forget to get out the old Davy Colt and put the 45 ACP cylinder in it. Haven't done it for a good while. Now I have. So it's kind of neat that it shoots 45 ACP. I think I've told you all that well, when we had these made, you know the story. If not, go back to, oh man, Colt Single Action Army, 3 generations, I think that video is called. And I go into all that and talk about, you know, how I had these made for John and his son, you know, my grandson, for all 3 generations. So I know what you were thinking, that with that title, it's kind of a double meaning, because even though these are all first generation or third generation guns, we think of Colts with 3 different generations, you know, of firearms. They're from 1873 up until World War II, and then from around 1956 into the 70s, and then from the 70s until current time. You know, you got 3 different generations of them. They're all essentially the same, but what it means in that video is I had made by Colt 3 of these consecutive serial numbers for little Davy and John and me. Okay, and 3 different barrel lengths, all had the stag grip, all that kind of thing. So you can look up that video. Anyway, they're all fitted for a 45 ACP cylinder. Okay, in addition to the 45 Colt, they're all in 45 Colt. What else, right? And get some more of that out. And so, you know, it's kind of neat. Got them fitted for 45 Colt, automatic Colt. An automatic cartridge. Kind of weird, huh? But at first, I thought, I don't know, that's kind of weird. I don't really need it. But they said they could do it. And it was taking a long time to get the guns. I said, well, just forget about that 45 ACP cylinder. I don't really need that. And but they did it. I thought really they were not going to do it, and then they did, and which is great, because I like it more than I thought I would. Even though, you know, I guess it's a little bit of an anachronism. You know, look up that word, Uncle Bill. But but then when I got them, you know, and got the shooting it, and everything, I thought, well, you know, this makes sense. It's not weird, really, that weird. It's like having a 44 Magnum and 44 Special. Just a shorter cartridge, and maybe more available and less expensive in a lot of cases, and then 45 Colt. And there's no real disadvantage to it. It had spaces on the chamber mouth, which means the way, you know, a chamber is, it squeezes in, and so you don't need clips like you do in you know, some revolvers, you know, speed clips, all that kind of thing, because it is a 45 ACP rimless, you know, cartridge that you know, is not going to, you know, catch on the edge of the chamber or anything, but it catches right there on the edge of the rim, the mouth, and it does fine. And then the biggest advantage, though, which I'll show you after I shoot this, okay? Yeah. Yeah, I forgot, Prince a little high, okay, on that first shot. Yeah, and the problem you have with like the 1917 World War I, you know, revolvers is you kind of need the clips. It's easier to unload it and all that kind of thing. Some of them you have to have the clips to get them out and all that kind of thing. Or you have to, or if I take one of those out, which I do, and I'll shoot these without clips, and I'll just get a rod of some kind and punch out the cases. Well, you got a built-in rod on the Colt Single Action. It's built right into the barrel. So as far as unloading, there's no difference between, you know, shooting these and shooting 45 Colt or anything else. So yeah, it's kind of cool. So basically, you have an option of shooting a smaller cartridge if you want to. They still feel pretty potent, even though it's a 45 ACP. So anyway, the old Davy Colt is pretty cool. Gosh, hard to believe. Got those in 2016. It's been 7 years already. Just seemed like yesterday we were taking delivery. I remember picking those up and the gun shop and everything, and excited to see them. Davey was so little and young, he didn't know anything, of course, but it's hard to believe. Anyway, yeah, how's this for a combination? You know, I had one of those ugly old AR-15s out last week, right? With an evil suppressor and all that sort of thing. So this is a little bit of a contrast. And for balance, I brought out a single shot and a 6-shooter today. What else do you want to know about? I don't know anything else. Did some archery this week with some friends. You know, 3D shooting. It's always fun. You know, you ought to try that sometime if you've never done it. If you have a interest in archery at all, and you hunt, maybe compound bow or traditional bow or whatever. If you're not familiar with some of the matches that take place around probably your state and area, there are 3D matches where people set up the animals, you know, the fake animals, the deer, dinosaurs, all kinds of crazy things available. But the foam animals, 3D targets in the woods, and you go around, it's like redneck golf. You all take your shot at the lion or whatever it might be, or the buffalo or the elk and the deer. You know, there's just usually one or two at one spot, and then you move to the next spot, walk through the woods, through the trail, and take a shot at the next one. And I mean, it's a match. Most people keep score and all that and see how they can finish. And they've got different stakes and distances from where you shoot. You know, you can shoot if you're I don't know, depending on what class you're shooting in, what type of bow you're shooting, I think, and male, female, your age, all these kinds of things. But the people I shoot with never keep score. We just, we're going for a hit or a miss. We're just going to enjoy it. And anyway, it's a lot of fun. So, can I shoot this again? Can I shoot this baby again? Model 1874. Whew, nice. These things are hard to come by. This is one they happen to have. I guess somebody bailed out on it. It couldn't pay for it or whatever after they order it, because they just take years sometimes to get after you order one. All right, Cowboy, I think this is a weak enough load that I can shoot you. Oh yeah. Woo. And that's another nice thing about 4570. You got cowboy loads, you got hot loads and jacketed loads, all kinds of loads for them. I think I shot high. That was pretty lame. That was pretty lame. Holding too high on the golf. I tell you, I was having a hard time seeing the sight. I don't know if I need to paint that or what. I don't know. It's nice. It's got a bit of a, I don't know. It must not be silver, nickel or something. It'd actually be better right now if it were black. Well, now if I'm shooting against something, I don't know, down in there it really shows up. Just depends. So anyway, that's what you get with a historic type rifle, right? No optics on it, no red dot, and fun to shoot. No doubt about that. Speaking of westerns and these kinds of things, I was watching the movie Warlock. How many of you have seen that? Warlock. It's Richard Widmark and Henry Fonda. Gosh, Anthony Quinn. If you've not seen that one, that might be, unless you get the Westerns channel, you've probably seen it because it's on there periodically. But if you do not have cable and see that pop up or anything, that's one you might enjoy. Look that thing up. You know, it's not a John Wayne movie. It's not one that you just, I don't know, that I ever really saw, you know, I think until a few years back, you know, popping up on the Westerns channel, Stars, whatever. But it's a good movie, really a good movie. My gosh, think about that. Anthony Quinn and Henry Fonda in the same movie, and Richard Widmark, and there were other people you'd recognize in that thing. But what was the guy? Frank Gorshin. He played the Riddler, one of the Fat Man series or something. He's in there as a kind of a bad guy cowboy. But it's neat movie. Why did I bring it up? Oh yeah, I was going to bring it up because it's a good movie. You might not be familiar with, but also, you know what? It kind of follows the theme a little bit, plot line of what's the movie with Harris and Appaloosa? No. Anyway, they come to town to. Is that it, Appaloosa? They come to town. Now it's a Marlon Brando movie. I may be confusing the title, but they come to town to. Their job is to clean up towns. They act as the law, you know, in towns where they're having a lot of trouble with law and order, sheriffs being killed or whatever. No sheriff, no law and order, and so these are the heavy hitters that are brought in to take care of things. So you might have seen that one. It was a cool movie, and but this kind of follows that theme, that plot line in a lot of ways, and it's well done. But it's an older movie, of course, with Henry Fonda. But anyway, it reminded me there was some gunfights in the street, some of that kind of stuff that virtually didn't happen, drawing on each other kind of thing. A reminder again that's always fun, and it's just a staple of the movies, the westerns especially, and it's just a staple of that. Like, of course, I've got my cross straw holster on. Doesn't matter, but you probably can't see it. But if you're facing somebody and in a showdown like they have in the westerns all the time, and it's just a matter of you're both ready to draw, and then boom, and you're not very far apart to begin either. Why do you think that didn't really happen much? If you've not heard me talk about this before, what would be your guess, the reason for that not being popular, that not happening much? Imagine you're standing here close to me. Okay, I've got my 6-shooter, you've got yours, and you're about to where the camera is, and we're going to draw on each other, and we're ready to go. We're ready to go wherever my gun is and yours is. We're ready to go, loaded, and pull it, boom, or boom, whatever the speed is. Why would that not be a thing you would want to do, even if you were really pretty fast and very confident with a 6-shooter, whatever the firearm is? Well, think about it. Even if you are twice as fast as I am, what if you hit me? It's not a square shot, or even if it is, people don't die immediately. I'm in the middle of, even if you hit me when I'm right here, well, boom, I'm going to maybe get you too, good chance of it, right? Because I'm in the act. So it's not like in the movies, the way they portray that in the movies, it would be valid. It would be valid if when the bullet touches your opponent, wherever you hit them, is the instant it touches them, they are immobilized. It shoots 10,000 watts of electricity through their body. So even if they're in the middle of the draw, got their gun cocked, about to pull the trigger, and they can't do it. Then, okay, they would have some validity. Whoever is faster is the king of the mountain, kind of thing. And that's the way that's the whole premise is, how fast are you? How fast is everybody? Oh yeah, he's really fast. He's really fast. Yeah, well, so is Joe. He's really fast too. Well, let's see who's faster. Let's let him have a shootout in the middle of the street. Okay? Walk 10 paces, turn and shoot, or whatever, or face each other and shoot on the third bell, whatever it might be. They're both really fast, but I think maybe Ralph is a little faster. Let's see who. Well, they're both probably going to be dead, right? And they both know that, so that's why they didn't do that. Duh. Okay. I mean, what's another analogy? I don't know. It just makes no sense. But it makes good movies. I mean, the thing is, the point is, if I knew I were twice as fast, 3 times as fast as Billy Bob here, I'm not going to be in a shootout with him. I'm not going to do that. You know, again, where can I hit him and be sure I'm going to hit him there, that he's going to be immobilized immediately, you know, wherever he is on his draw, you know, so so no charge for that physics, another physics lesson. Well, that'd be more of a biology lesson in a lot of ways, I guess, right? Physiology lesson. But anyway, it's a good movie. You might check it out if you've seen that. I like it. I like it. And I'm going to kind of load some more 45 ACP. Oh yeah, since I got it out, I'm getting it dirty. Yep, see, I'm not lying to you. It's 45 ACP. 230 grain hardball. Pretty wild, huh? Putting that in a Wild West revolver. Let's put it in the holster, cross draw. This is my, El Paso saddlery. Cross draw. I like this holster. Woo! Let's draw again. Hey, I got a cowboy down here. Let's have a showdown with him. See? It doesn't, plus it doesn't matter how fast you are if you're not accurate, right? So, and that's the thing too, you would be, boy, talk about stress and a real showdown. You would be, talk about pressure. You might, you know how easy it is to miss with a handgun anyway, even if you're pretty good, it's so easy to miss. And that's also what every professional would know, that, well, I might miss and I'll be dead even though I'm 5 times faster than that person is, you know. So that's the way that goes. Yeah, pretty cool. Nothing like a Colt single action. Hard to beat. So what was I going to talk about? I don't know. Probably too many things. Can I shoot one more time with this thing? Then I might come up with some advice for youngsters. Who knows? Aren't those pretty? 405 grains of lead. We're going to return it to the earth from which it came. I might see if I can hit that old buffalo over there. That was a nice sound. I thought I was probably too low, but I wasn't. Nice. Oh, I know what we need to take out. This would be a good round for that hog right there. Yeah, boy. That'd take down a wild boar, wouldn't it? For those that haven't, you've seen those probably. On my paper ball. You see down that thing how it loads. You slide that round in there. It's a beautiful thing. It really is. Put that torpedo in there. Check out the recent video we posted, the turkey hunt, Shiloh Sharps turkey hunt, or whatever I called it. And I think you can see the close-ups maybe and loading it and all that kind of thing. And plus we have a video or two with it, at least. So any advice for young people? Yeah, get you a Colt single action someday, or a clone of one, and shoot it, and learn to be a cowboy. Get you a cross draw holster like this, and you'll be a real cowboy. I'll tell you what, I've got some advice. You are responsible for your health and, well, your physical health and your financial health. You are responsible more than anybody else. Unfortunately, some people, life has dealt them a bad hand, right? In both ways. There are a lot of people, not many people are born wealthy, you know, or anything, have anything, but some people are dealt a very bad hand, born with really bad health, you know, missing limbs or just whatever, you know, have crazy diseases. Talking about life not being fair. Walk through a children's hospital. Yeah, man. But beyond that, if you are reasonably healthy, you're not dealing with anything like that, you've got to keep in mind that you are really responsible for, to a large degree, your own health and whether you're broke or not, and your finances, and get it together, and and you can't always rely on professionals, because lots of times they have an agenda, they have something they're trying to sell you. Well, it's a specific mutual fund or investment, When it comes to finances, I highly recommend get a fee-only advisor if you want an advisor. Do a lot of study, do a lot of research. Gosh, everything is on the web. You just got to weave through the junk and find it. But there's just a lot of basics that if you study something enough, yeah, you could be studying and listening to the wrong people online. That's the danger, of course. But if you've got some judgment about you, you begin to and you look at what a lot of different people are saying, you'll eventually figure out who the charlatans are and who's making money from trying to sell you a certain thing or whatever it might be. It's kind of the same way with health. I mean, there's so much money to be made, in health care, which is really sick care, right? By just doing studies and figuring out what drug you need to fix something, whereas diet would, cure most of that, So it's the same old deal. If there's money to be made, then, that's the motivation, and you're not going to necessarily get the best advice or best information. So you've got to look at a lot of people in every area. I'm no doctor, I'm no financial advisor, but I have just enough sense to listen to a lot of people and then figure out who I think makes sense. For example, Dr. Dan Barry, Dr. Eric Westman, to me they make sense. And a lot of others. Ben Bickman, I can name a lot of folks, and you all probably know some too. Someone who is not trying to sell you a drug, not really trying to sell you anything necessarily, just get the information out there, and maybe getting paid because they are being honest and getting legitimate information to people. That's the thing about the internet and YouTube and social media. They're, 95%, I guess, of people are trying to make something, sell something, whatever it might be. But then there's also there's a market for people who are trying to cut through all of that junk and give you more legitimate information. And the only thing they're really trying to sell you is maybe subscribe to them, listen to them. Maybe they've got something you join, but they're not trying to get you into sell you a drug or specific food or anything like that. They're making their money because they're one of the few people who are giving you legitimate information. That's kind of their claim to fame, So, there are people like that out there that are just honest. I feel like we are, We're not really trying to sell you a specific gun, for example, But anyway, you know what I'm saying. Use your judgment, but get around and listen to a lot of people, read a lot of books, and the old deal, a little learning is a dangerous thing. So you need to dig deep enough to where you can separate the wheat from the chaff. So what it kind of comes down to. And if you don't dig that deeply, then you may never get to that point, and you fall for the wrong information. And then who knows what the right information is anyway, for sure. But you begin to see what makes sense to you after a while, right? But anyway, finances and then your health, two of the most important areas, because they're kind of tied together. If you're spending more money than you're making, you're on the wrong road. It doesn't matter what the reason is, whatever the reason is, if you're spending more than you're making, there is no future in that. Big surprise. I mean, surprise, surprise, you've got financial problems if you're spending more than you make. Just that simple. Whether you're making $20,000 or $300,000, you're financially in trouble. You know, if you're spending more than you're making. Preferably, you want to be saving 10 to 15, 20% or more, you know, of everything you make. Ideally, if you're ever going to get ahead. And, so anyway, that's my advice, young people. Okay? Don't know if it's worth anything, but it's mine. It's what you're paying me for, right? You're paying me for that advice. And my best piece of advice is sometime in your life, own a 45-70, okay? It will enhance your life immensely, really, because if you can load a big old cartridge like that into a firearm and shoot a pig with it, like that, you'll be a happy camper. You will enjoy life more. I promise you, you will. And if you have another round, you'll enjoy life even more. You can throw one out at 80 yards and pop something. Boom! And you can hear it ring. Okay? Yes. Travel back through history. The good old Sharps rifle, the 45-70. The cartridge came out when? Come on now. Yeah, a few of you know. 1873. Yep. And in the Trapdoor, Springfield. Man, nice, nice. Now I'll shoot this at least one more time. Oh boy, 45 ACP. Again, it is a little bit of a weird anachronism, I realize, but it's neat to be able to do it. It is. And it would give you options. There's a lot of like cowboy loads in 45 Colt that are not very hot as well. That means powerful. Okay. For those who don't know, but you know, I don't know, you could find some 200 grain, 165 grain, really lightweight 45 ACP. You wouldn't have to worry about it functioning with this, you know, about the slide, spring, or anything like you do in a semi-auto. And or you could load some up that are really weak. For someone who's not used to shooting, you know, is what I was going to say there. That's always nice. Have a really nice firearm that is fun to shoot, that someone who is used to maybe all they've fired is a 22, and they're really recoil sensitive. They're afraid of recoil. You know, well, you can start them out with some light stuff. All right, let's pop the bullseye. Yeah. And a cowboy. Oh yeah, and another 2-liter. Let's see, I'm going to throw one at the gog. I'm not sure where to hold with these. Do I have another one? All right. Well, I really messed up on the first shot. Yeah, I missed it because I was holding right on it. Duh. This thing prints a little high, so I brought it down in front of it and hit it. So 45 ECP. Interesting, out of a Colt single action. That's a little weird, I guess, but it's okay. I don't put it in very often, you know, but it's nice to have, you know, and it's the same cylinder as a 45 Colt in terms of the way it's made. The bushing is separate, comes out. It's you know, so I really am glad Colt, you know, did that. I had those made right at the time. I got right under the wire. The Colt Custom Shop was undergoing revamping. A lot of people were fired and all this kind of stuff going on. Didn't know it till, and that's one reason they took a little bit longer than normal, I think. But anyway, I got them, and now I think they're back in operation, doing fine. But it was, little did I know that was going on. So people I dealt with were gone and all that after that. So I'll probably have to shoot one more time with the big boomer before I let you go. So I hope to see a lot of you at the NRA meeting now. Okay. So like I say, if you've not been there, it's the biggest gun show really in the country, and it's and you can snap and mess with the firearms, and everybody's there. Massive crowds. It's regardless of what you think about the NRA and what they're doing, most people go because it's the greatest gun show in the country, and then you look over all the firearms, and so it's not a political thing, or you're not supporting the wrong gun rights organization by going to the NRA necessarily, or anything like that. It's I mean, a lot of us are not happy with what's going on necessarily at the NRA, but I'll always go to that show. It's so big, and unless it gets to a point where I mean, the attraction is the exhibits for me above everything else. And if it gets to a point where lots of gun companies just don't go or don't show up, then it'd be, I guess, a different matter. But it's like if I don't know, there's maybe you're an antique car person, and you're into old cars and that kind of thing, and there's some massive flea market for that, in your neighborhood or in your city, and that's what you're into, and everybody that's into old cars is going to be there and set up and selling parts and tools and all that kind of thing, and you don't care who puts it on, generally speaking, anyway. It's just an event that you want to go to. So, but anyway, that's not an issue for most people, but I just brought that up. But it's in Indianapolis, and in middle of April, and I'll see a lot of you there, I'm sure. And then I will definitely be at the Sonoran Desert booth, and again, that will be at the SDI booth on Saturday from 2 to 3. And I'll remind you, on Sundays leading up to that, and then the Silencer Central booth from 10 to 11 on Saturday. Okay, so, and I'll put that in the description too, in the booth number. Okay, of the Sunday videos at least. All right. So, I'm glad that you came out, and you didn't have anything better to do. Really? No, I'm sure you have lots better to do and better videos to watch and everything else. So really do appreciate you coming by, and every video that we post, check it and get out. I still see a lot of people that just say, yeah, I haven't seen your videos. Or I've had several people write on Facebook and say that they what was it? I haven't seen one of your videos in weeks. They're just not showing up, or I'm not getting your posts or whatever on Facebook. Well, so I just post a link over here as a reminder. I mean, hopefully if you're subscribed, you get reminded, you get an email or whatever. But even if you don't, they're there. 3 or 4 a week. Hickok 45 on YouTube. Go to the channel page and they're there. I just usually put a link in Facebook on Hickok 45 public page just as a reminder. People that are on Facebook more than they are maybe other places. So anyway, it's a weird world out there online, and we're all trying to navigate it, right? So, I said I was going to take one more shot, and I am. I promise. I have another bullet. I'm going to shoot one. How's that? I'm going to put my ears on. Okay. What should I shoot? Oh, you know what? I've not shot one of those things down there in the gully. I don't know if y'all can see them. I'm going to shoot that tombstone down there, or that coffin, if I can. Watch me miss it. Yeah, a little trouble picking up that sight. I have to paint it black. I don't know. Anyway, Cowboy Hickok today with my 6-shooter and my single shot sharps, it doesn't get a lot better than that. And I tell you, it really doesn't. I hope that you someday, if you're a youngster and you're just getting into firearms, or you just have a firearm or two, you learn to enjoy the the pleasures of an old style single action or a single shot. Firearms like this, they really take you back into history. They really do. I think they would for about anybody. It helps if you've studied the history a little bit. Now, if you don't know anything about the history, they don't maybe take you back as well. I don't know. But as you get older and you study it and you read, you even see in movies, and you just learn more about the history of this country and other countries, the West, and it just means more to you, I guess. Yeah. So glad you came out, and I'm going to let you go. Okay, I promise. And I will see you. Guess when? Well, I'll see you before then, but I'll see you here on the Gun Club range on a Sunday morning shoot around in April. Yeah, it's going to be April. Yeah, almost April Fool's Day, I think. Life is good.